This is Sip, and in this video, I'm going to show you an insane productivity strategy that's not only going to help you increase your output in your business, but it's going to help you increase more sales. So watch this video while I break down exactly what mine looks like, and you could actually copy me here. All right, so let's get right into it. All right, first, let's break down the pain points that most people face when it comes to being more productive, increasing sales, production, leads, whatever it is in their business. They think they have to do more. Right? They've been told you got to do more. You got to put in the grind. You got to do this. You have to do 12-hour days. You have to hustle your face off. You have to work harder. In reality, this is not the way. You're just going to go off a cliff. You might get disappointed and you might give up. But if you have the systems in place, there's a quote that actually said this one time by someone who's very intellectual. I don't remember their name. They said a system is better than any top player. So for example, a weak system is better than any top player. You might have an A1 sales rep. You might have an A1 personality. You might have an A1, work ethic. But if you have a system in place, that system will beat you every time. So I'm going to break down exactly what that looks like, what leverage means, and what you need to do to actually focus on it so you can hit your goals when it comes to media, the creative process to get more leads, and your sales activity so you can get more demos booked, get more cash flow for your business, right? So this is what it looks like. On two aspects, we have fixed and we have variable types of activities where you could do. The fixed is this, right? You spend your time doing cold calls. You spend your time sending emails. You spend your time doing demos. At one point, you hit the time, maximum 8 hours a day. If you're savage, you hit 12 hours, but you're limited. You pick up the day, your output looks like this. You have a small output, 1 or 2 leads, but many hours spent, right? You've spent a lot of time and you're time focused is what it is. You're trying to yield results by how much time you spend versus the variable output. The smart character focuses on leverage. What does that mean? It means their possibilities are infinite. It really just depends on how fast they can execute this leverage, how much confidence they have in doing it in previously, and how much they believe in leverage, right? So here's how it looks like. When you start introducing leverage, right, you could spend your time doing an activity that really just doesn't matter. Might be R&D, might be just creating content, might be whatever it is, but your output is still up there. And we're seeing this with so many characters in the game on YouTube. They spend their time making YouTube videos and they get more money than anybody else ever before. You can't even catch up even if you have 1,000 sales reps. Why? Because they understand this leverage, this variable leverage, and it's infinite. So they put their time 2 hours a week, for example. Or most you ask them how many hours you create content, he'll tell you 12 hours a month is what I heard from him before on I think it was a speech he broke down. But does that seem realistic to you? While other people are grinding and hitting barely 10K a month, some characters doing multiple millions by doing less. Is because they have leverage, they understand this, and they hit their targets. Their output is way heavier. So if you're operating like this, you're putting all your hours, sending cold DMs, cold calls, whatever it is, and your outputs are very little, you're about to give up, start introducing some leverage into your business. Now, what does leverage into your business looks like at the beginning stages? Well, first you could start by multiplying your headcount, your company headcount, your possibility headcount. For example, on LinkedIn, you can only send 50 connection requests to be profile. Why not multiply those profiles? Why not put a VA to execute those actions, to get those connections? For example, right here, I use a profile management tool, which has enabled me to create AI personas, you could say, or different accounts that go out there every day, send DMs, connect with people, and see if they want to hop on the call. And it works flawlessly. Nothing beats the system. You don't have to have multiple phones, multiple devices. It costs very little to maintain. And most of the time is spent by the VAs, right? Once they get a hang of it, it becomes a video game to them and it's infinite. So my next goal is to infinitely scale this till it breaks and make it better. The next thing you can introduce as in leverage is your content distribution channels, right? Where before I would make content, anybody would make content, and they would go on YouTube, they would go on Instagram, they would upload it one by one, they would try to edit it, and it'll get scattered, lost, sometimes not even uploaded, which I actually had this problem many years ago, which is why today we're so heavily focused on this, because I saw the results certain characters in my market had, right, while I was doing the still whatever outputs very little. So now it's time to focus on the highest leverage point what we have, which is media. But it took me years to come to this point, and I don't want you to face the same problem, because the answer to everything that you have right now leads a massively successful business doing 100K a month is coming to this conclusion. You have to have the media in check, your creative process in check, and have your sales in check as well. So you're not sacrificing either or. So here's what the media scaling to infinity looks like, right? You have a system in place which includes you creating the content, shipping it out there. The editor comes, downloads it, does a quick edit on it, re-uploads it, and through different methods of APIs, it automatically gets distributed. So you have two phases. You have the content process and you have the distribution process. So you're automatically thinking like a drug dealer, if you think about it, right? If you watch the video movie, what is that movie called? 50 Cent made it. The Power TV show. Yes, sir, the TV show The Power. So if you watch that, there's a part of it that actually talks about this as well. It's called the distro. They call them the distro. Is the term I learned from was a distro. So they get the product, which is in our case is the media, right? The content. And the distro, the distribution goes out there, hustles it on the street, and they make their money. So we actually have to do the same thing. Most people create the content, but their distro is weak, which is why they can't really get results from what they're doing, right? They hope and pray that the algorithm will push their work. We don't want to do that. We want to take destiny into our own hands. So we have systems and leverage to execute this mission, and we're not going to stop till it gets there. So I want you to also include this in your strategy. Like I said before, I had a fixed mindset. My background is sales. Many years ago, I was doing door-to-door sales, developed it. It's always been sales. So I operated in a fixed mindset, hammering it out, until I realized, man, all the characters who actually focus on leverage, they hopped on the creative process, the YouTube, the everything, exponentially grew up because they utilized the compounding. They got the compounding effect. While every day, the sales character, such as myself, was still getting the same low outputs of, oh, only 2-3 leads. Oh, we hammered it out. 12 hours of the trenches, grind. It's always a grind. You don't want that. You're going to lose in the end. So whatever business model you're in right now, SMMA, coaching, consulting, SaaS, yes, the sales is the most important thing, but there's two avenues that you need to focus on. The first avenue obviously is sales, because that's really what's going to get you the bloodline of your business. But the second avenue, which you don't really see it and is extremely important, it makes everything easy, like taking a walk in the park, going down the side, is the compounding effect of media, which is just astronomical when you start getting the benefits of it. So if this video was helpful to you, I'm going to break down exactly what these systems look like. Go check out that video. It'll help you out, and it'll actually help you introduce it into your business so you can start reaping the benefits. I'll see you on the other side.